All right, everyone, get ready. Because today we are going deep, deep into the world of viral marketing.
Ooh, viral marketing.
You know those campaigns that just spread like wildfire online?
Yeah, like wildfire.
Like, remember that video, the one with the piano playing cat?
Oh, yeah, everyone saw that one.
Everyone and their grandma shared that thing. That's classic viral marketing right there.
Definitely.
But here's the big question, okay?
Okay.
What if you wanted to make something go viral? Like, who would you even target first to get that whole thing started?
That is the million-dollar question.
It is, isn't it?
And honestly, it's way more complicated than just like blasting your message out there to like everyone.
You would think, right?
You'd think.
Just getting it in front of as many eyeballs as humanly possible. That's the key.
Right. Seems like it.
But maybe not.
Maybe not, no. To really like get how viral marketing works, I think we need to break it down.
Okay.
We need to see what makes a campaign,
Yeah.
spread like that, like wildfire. And researchers, the people who study this stuff,
Yeah.
they found there are 4 key factors, kind of like ingredients in a viral recipe,
Ooh, okay.
like a recipe, yeah.
I am so intrigued. Tell me more. What are these magic ingredients?
Okay, so first you have information probability.
Information probability.
That basically just means like how likely is it that someone's even going to hear about your campaign in the first place,
Right.
Then there's participation probability.
Participation.
Which is really, are people actually going to,
Yeah.
engage with it?
Right.
Are they going to share it?
You can have like the best video in the world,
Exactly.
but if nobody sees it or nobody feels like sharing it, it's going nowhere.
It's dead in the water, yeah.
Dead in the water, exactly.
So next you got used reach.
Used reach.
And that basically means how many people are your initial sharers actually influencing.
All right.
You might have someone share your post who's got, thousands of followers.
Right. Huge following.
But if none of them are paying attention, it's not really doing anything for you.
It's not just about how many connections you have.
It's not, no.
It's like, how engaged are they?
Yeah, yeah.
They could all be bots,
That's right. And then finally, you need a good conversion rate.
Okay, conversion rate.
How effective is this thing at actually turning those eyeballs
Yeah.
into actual participants?
Right.
Are they liking, sharing, subscribing, buying, whatever you want them to do?
Whatever the goal is.
Whatever that goal is, yeah.
Okay, so we've got to get the message out to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
We got to make sure that they're actually seeing it, right?
Right.
And then we've got to give them a good reason to do something.
Exactly.
So where do these seeding strategies that we're talking about today come in?
Yeah.
How do we figure out who those right people are to,
Well.
to kickstart the whole viral chain reaction?
Well, there's been,
Yeah.
a lot of back and forth about the best way to do that. Some say you should just focus on the hubs,
Okay.
the people who are super connected, like
Right.
folks at the center of the network. They have a large reach. Seems like the obvious choice, right?
It does seem like it on the surface, yeah.
Yeah.
But I could also see how someone who is constantly bombarded with information might be less likely to engage.
That's true.
Too much noise, right?
Too much. And that's what researchers wanted to look at, to
Gotcha.
really test this out. So they designed these really clever studies
Okay.
to see how different seeding strategies,
Yeah.
actually played out in the real world.
Okay, let's hear about these studies. I'm all ears.
All right. So the first study, this took place on a social networking platform with students.
Okay.
And the researchers, they could carefully track everything.
Okay.
They use these unique tokens to track referrals, and they even offered little monetary incentives, like little rewards,
Okay.
just to get people participating.
So pretty controlled environment
Yeah, very controlled.
to see what strategies really work.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what they found was targeting those hubs.
Yeah.
Super effective.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So those super connected people were more likely to spread the message.
Way more likely. They found that focusing on hubs was like 7 to 8 times more effective
Wow.
than people on the fringes of the network.
That's a huge difference.
It is.
So much for that theory that they would be too busy.
Too busy, yeah.
Overwhelmed.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems like being really connected made them even more likely to actually engage and share.
Interesting.
So it's not just about, how many people they know.
Yeah.
It's about how willing they are to participate.
But was this just a fluke because it was such a controlled environment?
That's a great question.
And they had the incentives, right?
Yeah, would the same thing happen
The real world.
in real life?
Yeah.
So that's what they wanted to test next. In their second study, they wanted to see if this held up,
Okay.
with more people and with content that people would share just organically.
Naturally.
Yeah, no incentives, nothing like that.
Okay, so how'd they do that?
Okay, so this time they used a funny video about their university
Okay.
as the viral content, and they shared it with a group of MBA students.
All right.
No money involved, just,
Pure entertainment.
pure entertainment value, yeah.
So they leveled the playing field
Totally.
and just let the content speak for itself?
Yeah, and it worked.
It worked?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more.
They got really similar results, even without the incentives and the money and all that.
Wow.
Focusing on the hubs
Yeah.
and on a group called Bridges.
Blade.
These are the people who connect different clusters
Right.
within a network
Okay.
that was still the most effective.
Interesting. So we're seeing a pattern here.
We are, yeah.
But what about like a real viral marketing campaign? One that isn't just part of a study?
Right.
Like out in the wild west of the internet, did these findings hold up?
That's where study number 3 comes in.
Right.
This time they looked at a mobile phone provider's real-life referral campaign.
Okay.
We're talking over 2 million customers.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's big data.
Big data.
Do they have to go through like millions of phone records?
They did. They tracked everything. They tracked referrals,
Oh.
participation. They even mapped out the social network from all the call records.
That's a lot of work.
It was massive.
So what they find, did it line up with the first 2 studies?
It did. It totally backed them up.
Yeah.
Targeting those well-connected hubs.
Yeah.
Twice as effective
Yeah.
as just randomly trying to seed the campaign.
So it seems like that hub strategy is a winner all around.
It really does.
But I am curious about something.
Okay.
If hubs were so good at getting the ball rolling,
Mm-hmm.
what about their impact further down the line? Did they keep driving the spread?
Yeah.
Or did their influence kind of fizzle out after that initial,
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Maybe a little counterintuitive.
Yeah.
To understand this, we got to talk about influence domain.
Influence
An
over?
influence domain.
Sounds very official,
It does.
but I have no idea what that means.
Okay, imagine
Yeah.
imagine you're at a party
All right. I like parties.
and someone right in the middle of the room starts
Grand.
telling a joke.
Right.
Everyone around them hears it, they laugh, maybe they tell it to someone else,
Okay.
but it stays within that,
It's that little circle.
that little circle. Yeah.
So that's our hub, right?
That's our hub.
Sharing the message within their immediate network.
Exactly.
Right.
Now imagine someone on the edge of the party.
Okay, wallflower.
Yeah, the wallflower overhears the joke
Okay.
and they think it's hilarious.
All right.
And they go tell it to a totally different group of people. People who weren't even part of the,
That first group.
that first group, right?
I see what you're saying. They're connected to different.
Different circles, different networks.
So they take that joke or the message or whatever,
They spread it.
they spread it to a whole new audience.
That's the idea.
Okay.
Those fringe connections, they can bridge the gap to
Untapped network.
untapped networks, yeah.
Okay.
And really expand the reach of the message.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So even though the hubs are great for that initial
That first burst.
burst of activity,
Yeah.
those less connected folks, they might be the key
They might.
to keeping the viral spread going.
Exactly. It's like planting seeds in different fields, right?
Okay.
You want that initial growth, but you also want to,
Diversify.
diversify. Yeah.
Man, this is blowing my mind.
It's pretty wild.
The more I learn about this, the more I realize how much I didn't know about how this whole thing works.
Yeah. There's a lot to it.
This is fascinating.
It is. It's fascinating. There's a real art and science to understanding,
Yeah.
all these social dynamics.
But the good news is
That's it.
we don't need a PhD in,
In network science.
network science to actually apply this stuff.
You don't. You don't.
Right.
It can sound super complicated, but there are some simple things you can take away from all this and actually use in your, everyday life.
So what can we do with this information?
Yeah.
Let's say I'm trying to promote my new podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
What's my first move?
Yeah.
Think about your own network.
Okay.
Who are your hubs?
Okay.
Who are those connectors
Right.
who just seem to know everyone?
Yeah.
Those are the people who can really amplify your message.
Okay.
Get it out there.
Okay, so identify my super connectors.
Yeah.
But wouldn't those people be like
Bombarded.
bombarded with requests all the time?
They probably are.
So how do I make mine stand out? Well, first of all, you got to make sure you're sharing something that's, good, that's actually valuable.
Yep.
That's interesting. People are way more likely to share something that, resonates with them. Yeah. And remember those incentives.
Oh, right.
We talked about earlier, sometimes just offering a little reward can,
sweeten the deal.
Yeah, sweeten the deal, yeah.
A discount or something.
Exactly. Give people a nudge.
So it's kind of like a balancing act.
It is.
Between, that intrinsic motivation sharing because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little extrinsic,
A little, yeah.
A little something extra, exactly.
Okay.
And remember, this isn't just for marketing, products or whatever.
Right.
Let's say you're passionate about, a cause.
Okay.
Like saving the environment.
Okay, yeah.
Reaching out to well-connected people can help you, mobilize people. Yeah.
Get more support. More supporters, exactly.
Okay, so if I'm trying to raise awareness about climate change, I need to think about who in my network.
Who's got that reach?
Who has that reach?
And who cares?
Who cares about the topic?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're basically,
leveraging
those social connections.
to amplify the message.
To get it out there.
Create a ripple effect.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
We've learned about those 4 determinants of viral spread.
Yeah.
The surprising effectiveness of targeting hubs. And the importance of reaching beyond those core networks.
Absolutely.
What else should we keep in mind as we, navigate this wild world of viral marketing?
That's a great question, and I think it really highlights something. It shows that we're not just like watching all this happen.
Yeah.
We're all part of the network.
We're all part of it, whether we realize it or not.
Whether we realize it or not. That's right. We're constantly liking, sharing, retweeting.
Yeah.
We're all little nodes in this giant web of information.
We are all connected.
So knowing how it works can help us be, I don't know.
More mindful, maybe.
Mindful, yeah. More intentional about how we engage with all this stuff.
Absolutely.
And how we participate in,
in how it spreads.
Yeah, spreading the ideas.
Yeah, it's not just about using these techniques to promote your own stuff.
To sell stuff, yeah.
Right. It's about being like a savvy consumer of information too.
Ooh, okay.
Recognizing how we're being influenced.
Yeah.
And maybe even like pushing back against it a little.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we become more network aware in our everyday life?
Well, I think, first of all, it's about recognizing the power of those connections.
Okay.
We tend to underestimate how much influence we actually have, within our own networks.
Even small things like sharing an article, recommending a product to a friend, it can have a real ripple effect.
Kind of like the butterfly effect, right?
Right. It is. One small action can trigger this whole cascade of events.
And on the flip side, being aware of how these networks work can help us be more critical
of
all the information that's coming at us. Right?
Yeah, ask yourself, who's sharing this?
Right.
What's their agenda?
What are they trying to get me to do?
Am I being like swayed by peer pressure here, or am I actually interested in this?
Just because it's going viral doesn't mean it's true.
Doesn't mean it's true at all.
Or even worth my time, right?
Not at all, yeah.
It's about taking a step back.
Definitely.
Thinking critically.
Yes.
Before we hit that share button.
Before you share it with everyone you know.
We have to remember, there are downsides to these viral marketing techniques, right?
Absolutely.
They can be really effective at spreading information.
Very effective.
But that information isn't always good or accurate.
It's not always good, no.
It's like any tool. Right.
It is.
It can be used for good.
Right.
Or for evil.
For bad, yeah.
We have to be responsible.
We do.
Use these insights ethically.
Yeah.
Think about the potential consequences.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where the conversation needs to go.
Okay.
As these techniques get more and more sophisticated.
And they're just getting better and better, right?
Right. We need to develop some ethical frameworks.
So we can use this stuff responsibly.
Responsibly, yeah. We need to think about transparency.
Okay.
Consent.
Yeah.
The impact this has on, on people and on society as a whole.
It's like we're at a crossroads.
Kinda.
We have this incredible power.
To connect, to share information.
Yeah.
but we also have to use it wisely.
We do. It's a big responsibility.
I think we can find that balance, though.
I do too. I'm optimistic.
Me too.
I think the more we learn about how these networks work, the better off we'll all be.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has been.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on the world now.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm going to look at those share buttons a little different.
Well, I think that's a great takeaway.
Yeah.
Awareness is key.
Awareness.
The more we understand,
Yeah.
the more empowered we are
I like that.
to make good choices.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery.
My pleasure.
We hope you learned something new today
I hope so.
and maybe even got some ideas of your own.
Some inspiration.
Until next time, keep those minds curious,
Keep learning.
those connections strong.
Stay connected. Yeah, and I think that's where the conversation needs to go next.
Okay.
You know, as these techniques get more and more sophisticated.
Oh, yeah, they're just getting better and better, right?
Right. We need to develop
Yeah.
some ethical frameworks
Okay.
so we can use this stuff responsibly.
So we can use this stuff responsibly.
Yeah, we need to think about like transparency.
Transparency.
On consent, the impact it has on,
Yeah.
on people, on society.
Like the big picture.
The big picture, yeah.
It's like we're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
You know?
It is.
You have this incredible power to connect, to share,
Yeah.
but we also have to use it wisely.
We do. It's a big responsibility.
It is. But I'm optimistic.
Me too.
I think we can find that balance.
I do too. I think the more we learn
Yeah.
about these networks, how they work,
Yeah.
the better off we'll be.
This has been an incredible deep dive, I feel like. I have like a whole new perspective on the world now.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm gonna start looking at those share buttons a little differently, yeah.
I think that's a great takeaway.
It is.
Awareness is key.
Awareness is key.
The more we understand,
Yeah.
the more empowered we are
To make good choices.
to make good choices, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this journey of discovery. We
My pleasure.
hope you learned something new today.
I hope so.
Maybe even spark some ideas of your own.
Some inspiration.
Until next time, keep those minds curious
Keep learning.
and those connections strong.
Stay connected.